Over on your left, you're going to see what a dominant seventh chord looks like. This is a C dominant seventh. I'm going to give you another name for it also. We're going to also call it the major minor seventh. This is a little bit less common of a name, but it's also a correct term for it. When we're building a seventh chord, we have two main components. We have the triad on the bottom, and we have the seventh on the top. So we're going to start with the triad on the bottom. With a dominant seventh chord, we start with a major triad. So in the one you see over on the left here, we start with the C major triad, which is made up of C, E, and G. On top of that, we add a seventh. Now, two parts of this. What does it mean to add a seventh? It means to add an interval of a seventh above the root. Or you could think of it another way, the seventh note of that scale. So let's start with C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, now a seventh above C is a B. Now what we need though is a minor seventh. This is a major seventh. So we're going to take that top note and lower it another half step. And this gets us the minor seventh. So we have a major chord and a minor seventh. Here's another way to find that minor seventh, and you can find major sevenths the same way. Go up an octave from the root, go down a half step for a major seventh, go down another half step for a minor seventh. This will work from any note and for any chord. Now let's build a dominant seventh chord starting on another note. Let's try G. Start with a G major triad. Add a minor seventh. Let's figure that out. We start with this G here, go up an octave, down 2 half steps. Put those together, and what do we get? We get a dominant seventh chord. One last little thing to talk about the dominant seventh is this guy over here. This is the version that you've probably seen the most in your music. This is an inverted dominant seventh chord with a missing note. So I probably should explain how that works. When you see this dominant seventh chord, you're going to wonder, how is it related to the dominant seventh chord you just showed me that had G, B, D, and F? I'm going to try to explain it the best way I can. In your beginner to intermediate music, and even in some advanced music, this chord is used quite a lot. It is related to the original dominant seventh chord that looks like this. This is your root position chord. All chords can be inverted. I do have a lesson on inverted chords, and I'm going to bring out another lesson on inverted sevenths as soon as I can to explain these a little bit better. So what we're going to do is, first thing we're going to do is we're going to invert this chord. We're going to take the top note and move it to the bottom. So let's invert this until we get something similar to the chord that we were looking at. So now I've got the F and the G together. Let's bring the D down. Now let's bring the B down. Now this looks sort of like that chord, but there's one missing note. And that's why the chord that you see as a seventh chord in a lot of the beginner and intermediate music is only a 3-note chord. It's because they take out this D. And even later on, they're going to start taking out the B instead of the D. So if we take this D out, that's the chord we get. Let me explain the rule a little bit. So now when I go back to this original root position chord, the rule is for composition that you can remove either of the 2 middle notes of that seventh chord and still retain the properties of the seventh chord and still keep a seventh chord. So usually they'll remove the 5th. And that way you get G, B, and F. I hope this explains it for everybody, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Like I said, I'm going to have another lesson soon enough on inversions of the 7th chord, as well as other lessons on the other 7th chords that you might see. If you liked that video, please give me a like. If you have any comments, please leave them underneath. And if you want to see more videos, look to the ones over on the right of the screen right now and take a look at one of these or any of my other videos. And please subscribe if you want to see anything new when it comes up. Thanks a lot.